Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's G from Happiness and Crafting. So a couple videos ago I was making snippet rolls. Now I've actually made 3 now, and I think they are absolutely gorgeous, loving them. So I've got 3 lovely snippet rolls there, and I still had loads left, so I thought I'd make a journal cover, and I think it's come out really pretty. I love it. So what I thought I'd do, because I'm making a journal, I thought I'd show you how I put it together. Just the cover, because it's a fabric one. I've had a few of you ask me how I do it. So I have just got a piece of fabric like this. It's just like a piece of cotton here, and then I put some interfacing over the top. Just stuck well, obviously you iron it on, and then I've added all the little bits of fabric onto it and sewing it on, because it's so much easier, because you need it a little bit stiffer. The interfacing makes your fabric stiffer, so it's easier to sew, machine sew. It just makes it a lot better, because if you have just fabric, sometimes it's just too flimsy. So that's that. So it's very simple, exactly the same as you do a snippet. Just add the bits on and sew it all up. Now the inside of it, I've just got the calico cover, calico cotton fabric, and I've added some interfacing on this as well, just to make it a little bit harder. So what I would do, I just put that over the top like that, and then it just stiffens that just enough, but it's still soft, but it's not as flimsy. But what I wanted to do, so that's the front of it, pop that on there like that, but I was going to add a pocket to it as well. So I've got a little bit of the fabric that I cut off here, and I love this sort of like frayed edge. I think that looks really nice. So I was going to pop a pocket on there as well. So let's just move that piece out of the way. So I just need to put that on there, just measure and just cut that little bit off there, because we don't need that. So let's just get rid of these little end bits, take those off. So that fits on there like that. Now what I've got some velvet ribbon here, and I'm just going to just sort of line the top of that pocket. I think if you've got some snippet roll, you could probably add a little bit of this to it as well, which would look pretty, wouldn't it? That might look quite nice, but I think it will be a bit too bulky. I don't think the journal's quite big enough to have the snippet inside as well, so I'm just going to stick that on here. So I shall stick this on and then sew it on. So it's quite simple to do, but I've got, look at all this fabric, all these bits left I still have from when I sorted it out. They seem to be going on forever and ever. So I'm just going to add a little bit of this 3-in-1 before I sew it. Just down here, glue stuck to me. Stick this down. Oops. Pop that along there. Just like that. So that's just the top of the pocket, and if you sew it, it stops these bits fraying as well, but I do like that sort of frayed edge bit, so I'm just going to quickly just run the sewing machine along that bit. Okay, so there we are. So that's just sewn on there, just with a little straight stitch on there. And then what we're going to do, we're going to pop this onto here. So that's your little pocket. I'm just going to stick it down with a little bit of glue, just like that, just a little dot, just so it stays in place, like this. all the way down, and I'm going to just pop it on here. Now I do use this fabric quite a lot, this Calico fabric, because it's obviously it's a really neutral colour, and it's great for lining the journals, if you're making a fabric journal. But the interfacing that I got, you can get this from Amazon. This is where I got it from. You get a great big load of it, and it's really inexpensive, and it's fantastic, and I think it's the best thing to use if you're going to do a fabric journal. It's the nicest thing. I sometimes use card in between, but I like this as well if you want it a little bit more sort of fabricy, if you know what I mean, and not too stiff. So that I'm just going to stick on here. I like all these little bits dangling off the edge because I think it makes it sort of like look sort of homemade. Now to pop them together, I do use glue stick to hold them together, and this is great because it sticks it really well. Let me just move that out of the way and put a nice big lot of glue onto here. Stick this down just like that. Now I'm going to just pop this over the top, just like that. Sort of line it up a little bit. Stick that down. That just holds it down just while you sew it. Just like that. So what I will do, I will sew it from this side. Make sure it's level. Like that. So I'm going to go round, all the way around with a zigzag stitch, all the way around the outside. So I will be back in 2 minutes. Okay, so there we go. So that's all sewn around. I went around a couple of times like that. So that's how simple and easy it is to put one together, and you just fold it in half like that, and you've got your lovely journal cover there. So what I would probably do as well is maybe pop something around this edge just to neaten it up. Now let's have a look. I would probably use, which I don't have, I need to actually colour some, which would be some seam binding here. So probably do it in like a pinky. So I'll just pop that round the edge like that and sew it on just like that. So what I will go and do, I'm going to colour some seam binding like this, and then I can just pop it all the way around the journal just to cover this up, because you can just see little bits of the outside of the journal cover, which here this wasn't quite big enough to fit on here, so I want to just tidy it up just a little bit. So I'm going to pop something around there. So what I will do, I will colour some seam binding, so I will show you how I do that in the next video, and then we can use that with this. So there we go guys, that's how simple it is to put together, and I'm absolutely loving the cover. So these little snippets, so I'm hoping you've got all lots of little snippets, doesn't matter what colours they are. I just happen, my colour palette really are the sort of like pinks and creams and browns and sort of like the mutedy sort of like chubby colours that I use. They're just what I use, but again, use whatever colour palette you use. If you use bright colours, use bright colours. It all looks really lovely. Whatever you do will look lovely. So there's our little pockets like that. So what I will do next video, I'm going to show you how I colour the seam binding. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.